that is actually liquid oxygen, which is boiling off as it comes into contact with the ambient Florida temperature around it. This is totally normal, and it's the reason why we continue to top off the vehicle with liquid oxygen until just a couple minutes prior to liftoff. The big milestone coming up is the engine chill at T-minus 7 minutes. That actually just happened 2 minutes ago, and again, that's to make sure that the engines are cold enough such that when really cold liquid flows into them, they don't experience much thermal shock. Coming up soon, the strongback will prime itself with a very small retraction. That happens a few minutes before T-minus 0, and then remember it will recline fully right at liftoff. Now at T-minus 60 seconds, in about 3.5 minutes, the Falcon 9 flight computer takes over the entire countdown. You'll hear that on the nets as Falcon 9 is in startup, and that means that the onboard software, instead of the humans, is in full control of the vehicle. So to recap, the vehicle is green, the payload looks good, the range is supporting, and the weather is ready. So with that said, let's listen into the final minutes of Terminal Countdown.
Stage 2 locks closed out. Falcon 9's on internal power.
Close out trying.
Falcon 9's in startup.
LD, go for lunch.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion's nominal.
Vehicle supersonic.
And we've had successful liftoff of Falcon 9 as it carries SES-12 to geostationary transfer orbit. We're coming up on max Q here in a few seconds. Max Q, remember, as we increase our velocity, pressure increases, but then we're going through less dense atmosphere, so pressure decreases. Everything after max Q means the scarce density is decreasing the pressure on the vehicle. So we're going to come up on a few events here in short succession. It's MECO, stage SEP, and then SES-1. MECO is main engine cutoff. That's when all 9 engines on first stage stop firing. There follows stage separation when the 2 stages gently separate from each other. And then the third event in that succession is SES-1, which is second engine start number 1. We'll see those here in a few seconds.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
Got ignition. Good first stage performance.
And we're coming up on the next major event, which is the deployment of the fairings, those aerodynamic shields surrounding SES-12.
FTS is safe.
And the fairings have deployed. So to recap all that quickly, we had max Q, max pressure, and then the main engine's cut off, and then the stages separated, and then we had second engine start. Now this is the first of 2 planned burns that the second stage will conduct. Then the fairings deployed thereafter, exposing SES-12 to space. We don't need that extra mass once we're outside of the atmosphere. We no longer need our aerodynamic shield. Now a quick note on the fairings. While we aren't attempting recovery of the fairings today, we have been attempting to recover fairings during our West Coast launches. Now, last launch, we got pretty close with the fairing landing about 50 meters from Mr. Steven, which is our catch boat, and we will continue those recovery attempts until we're successful, but not on today's SES-12 mission. So we're going for a few minutes here. This burn is, again, 6 minutes long. We've gone through about 2 minutes of it. So this will continue for another about 4 minutes, and then we'll reach SECO-1, which is second engine cutoff number 1. And if you're just joining us, we again had a successful liftoff of the Falcon 9. It's carrying the SES-12 payload to geostationary transfer orbits. Second stage has separated and is about halfway through its first of 2 planned burns. It's currently T plus 6 minutes. We have about 2.5 minutes left in this first of 2 burns for the second stage until we enter about a 17-minute coast period. So again, the second stage is carrying SES-12 to its geostationary transfer orbit. 2 minutes remain in this burn.
Stage 2 trajectory continues to be nominal.
Checking in again, we're at T plus 7 minutes. Second stage is still burning. This burn is again 6 minutes in full duration. Is about 80 seconds or so remaining in this burn. Second stage will coast with SES-12 for about 17 minutes before it lights again.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
Now we've reached T plus 8 minutes. 20 seconds from now, this burn should conclude, marking SECO 1, second engine cutoff number 1.
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
Made my back cut off.
And you heard the call out for successful cutoff of the MVAC engine. Now the 9 Merlin 1D or Merlin 1 engines on the first stage are different than the single engine on that second stage. That second stage engine that just cut off is called MVAC-D because it's designed to function optimally in the vacuum of space. It's housed inside the rocket's inner stage when the 2 stages are still attached, and it's designed to burn for about 6 minutes and can be shut down and restarted multiple times to deliver payloads to different orbits as they're needed. Nearly identical to the first stage Merlin engines in shape, MVAC-D is modified with a slightly larger nozzle to maximize efficiency in low-pressure exhaust conditions like space. So with that shutdown of the first of 2 burns, we're now going to break for about a 17-minute coast, and then we're going to come back for